So now I'm going to take a few minutes and break down the stuff which probably everyone is most interested in for this, and that's the lighting setups. Lighting for that setup was really simple. 2 lights. We had a Kino Flow boomed up over the top of the fake bedroom wall. It's the benefit of having sets. You don't need to worry really about how you get the light in there. You can just place it where you want. You do have to be a little bit conscious of how that feels, because if you have a light coming from somewhere where it couldn't possibly come from in a room, it can start to feel very fake very quickly. But the Kino Flow over the top worked very nicely and just bedded in with the HMI that we had coming in through the window, and it made sense. We didn't try to do too much with that. We played the talent almost completely in silhouette, and it just felt kind of Christmassy and a little bit down and not all high key and bright. Had the 2 practicals in there. Apart from that, we didn't really touch anything. So that's a pretty simple setup really, 2 lights, and that gave us enough to work with in that scene. We had 2 cameras rolling, so we got a wide, which is showing the entire bedroom, and then we had another close shot so that we could try and tick off 2 angles at the same time. The lighting was soft enough that it would work for both of them. By that point, we'd had to do a little bit of redressing the set, so we were pushing our schedule a little bit, so it was important to try and keep ahead as much as we could. We did have a frame up with an extra Kino Flow that we were going to use perhaps to fill, but in the event I decided that it didn't actually look as sumptuous if we filled in those shadows. So we just had the frame up to the side here, and that was giving a little bit of return, but not all that much. There's one other element that I want to spend a little bit of time talking about. When we're thinking about lensing, we have to consider lots of factors, and one of them is what would be believable in the space that we are actually filming in. Because we're working a set, we could step back a very long way. And we started off on a 35 for this, but the 35 felt a little bit unnatural. The way that it would flatten everything off, the perspective from the distance that we were at that the 35 gives you isn't quite what you would feel if you're actually in the room. So we changed out to the 25, stepped in a little bit closer, and it just brought everything to life a little bit more. And it's mostly because perspective is something which you deal with all the time. And as a human, you exist in spaces, you know what it feels like. And if all of a sudden you're on a very long lens, getting a very flat, planimetric kind of shot, it takes it out of the real world and moves it into something else. Imagine like a Wes Anderson film where you have those very long lenses, those very precise moves, and those very linear lines. It takes it into that realm, and that's not wrong, but in this scenario it didn't feel right for the vibe that we were trying to evoke. So your lens choice and how you use the lenses in the space that you're in can actually have a big impact on how, at an emotional level, people watching it will connect with the material. This bedroom scene was definitely the most unique because of the whole set build element. In the next part, we're going to be lighting the Lindt chocolate shop scene. There's going to be lots of negative fill. We're going to be using suction cups to mount to the windows, keeping everything nimble, fast moving using the Astera tubes.